Hi, it's Don Southerton, another episode of Everything Korea. Let's jump right into the session today. Just back from New York City, so I wanted to share the link to the Korea Society presentation. Now Nikita and the team at the Korea Society did a wonderful job of hosting and then professionally editing and producing and uploading the event. You want to set aside some time so you can review the presentation, lots of great content. I've included the YouTube link in the copy so you'll be able to access it easy. Sort of big picture, the topic of Korean startups seemed to come up lots last week. We touch upon it in the Korea Society presentation at the very end of the presentation, but it was a subject of discussion in several high-level meetings I had in the city. I feel it will be a talking point we'll elaborate a lot more on in the next few weeks. But frankly, entrepreneurialism and the roots of Korean-style entrepreneurialism has long been a subject of my own study and writing and research. In fact, my first book, which I wrote more than a decade ago, was titled The Filleys 350 Years of American Entrepreneurial Spirit. And subsequently, I wrote a book shortly after that called Intrepid, Americans, Bold Koreans, Early Korean Trade, Concessions, and Entrepreneurship. So I've really dwelled on this subject a lot over the years. More recently, a huge undertaking was the book Chemulpo to Songdo International Business District, Koreans International Gateway, along with the more recent book Hyundai Way and Hyundai Speed. These both approach entrepreneurialism from different perspectives, historically and culturally. So today, just as an introduction to the topic of Korean startups, I see it as a major challenge to Korean startups is really a matter of culture. Let me explain this a little bit more. What's involved in America has really been the tend to hub this sort of culture for startups in cities like Boulder, Colorado, of course San Francisco, Austin, Texas, New York City. And more recently, it's been emerging in cities like Denver and even Golden, Colorado, where we're based out of. Within these communities, I've witnessed an amazing synergy, not only in day-to-day interactions and in dialogue, but in the resources. So actually spending an hour listening to the chats, and I've listened to the pitches going on for funding in edgy cafes like Cafe Centro on South Park Street in San Francisco. And this is a couple blocks that was once referred to as ground zero for the .com, but concepts were like Twitter were launched, and scores of tech companies today call it home. So one quickly sees, if you spend some time there, that there's a dynamics to being located in these areas. Noting this, where is the gap between U.S. and Korea that is occurring with startups? Well, it's primarily mindset. Today, entrepreneurs, angel investors, venture capital groups who launched Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Shopify continue to look for and invest and provide mentorships and guidance to what they think will maybe be the next success story. In most cases, they are investing resources in multiple ventures. So they're really spreading it out over many different companies, hoping to see which is going to be the next one that emerges. That say, we know that and accept that they feel that failure is part of the process. And of course, this would be where the big impasse between here and Korea, acceptance of failure. As Biz Stone, and he's the guy who was one of the co-founders of Twitter and Square and Medium and a bunch more, said it recently at South by Southwest. The failure of one venture that he had recently called Jelly led to the success of another venture that he's currently running called Super. I have some links on that later in here. So getting back to Korea, the real challenge is not on ideas, innovation, and talent, but allowing and fostering a climate for the acceptance of failure. And this is where I'll take up in the next episode of Everything Korea and share some exciting new developments which may be the very answer. So stay tuned. So until next time, this is Don Southerton wishing you all the best.